if we have an equation that looks like this orange guy right here, 8 equals 4, x plus 1 squared plus 2, you would solve that doing reverse PEMDAS, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's one x value, you minus 2 divided by 4, yada, 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 solve for x. This pink equation here, x squared plus x minus 12, you cannot use reverse PEMDAS because there are two terms with an x. So how do you know which one to solve for? You can't do it, all right?
So if you plug it into a calendar?
Assuming you don't have a calculator, you can't do it. So, the way that you solve a quadratic with two terms with an x, you have to factor, which is what we're doing today. All right, so the way that you're going to be solving these quadratic functions is by factoring, because you're not going to have a calculator on this part of the test. You have to know how to do these without a calculator. Okay, so this is how you do it without a calculator. Think about how often you solve equations in math, right? You solve equations all the time. That's how often you're going to be using factoring, because every time you see a quadratic and I ask you to solve it, you have to use factoring. So that's why factoring is super important, because you're going to be using it to solve equations. So when I said make sure you learn it, that's why. Okay.
Oh, you were recording?
Yes, I've been recording. All right. To solve for the solutions of a quadratic equation, use factoring. We need to know the zero product property. So what the zero product property says, if I have a times b equals 0, then a can equal 0 or b can equal 0. Because if a equals 0, what is 0 times b?
0.
0, that still works. Or if b equals 0, what is a times 0?
0.
0. So the product property says it doesn't matter which multiple equals 0. If one of them equals 0, your answer is going to be 0. So once I factor, I get something that looks like this, right? X plus 3 and x minus 7. And it's going to equal 0. Then I know that x plus 3 can equal 0, or x minus 7 can equal 0. It doesn't matter. And so, yes, there's going to be two possible answers. So then you're going to solve for x minus 3. So x is going to be negative 3, or x is going to be 7. Does that make sense? Why you said each of them equal to 0?
Is this easy? Is this supposed to be?
Most people have caught on pretty well today. Okay, let's think about this graphically. All right, let's think about this graphically. Negative 3 and 7, what are they on my graph? My x-intercepts. Very good, because remember, x-intercepts, solutions, zeros, roots, all the same thing. So my x-intercept is at negative 3 and 7. All right. So what you are finding the x-intercepts, which is going to help us later on when we do word problems.
How do you know it's a sad face? I mean, a happy face.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Oh, your a value is positive.
Where?
If you found a, x times x is what? X squared. Positive x squared.
Oh.
Does that make sense?
Oh.
Have you written my test?
I did. I already updated grades. 76.
Thanks for those Doritos. They helped a lot.
Okay. So let's go down to these examples. I'm going to do all of the examples today. We are not going to be doing the back today. We're going to push that to next semester. Okay, so we're going to do the word problems next semester, so don't worry about that. We are only going to be doing this front. All right. Solve each equation by factoring. Now, because we want to use the zero product property to solve these, you have to set every equation equal to 0. That's the very first step. So you have to move everything to the left side. Okay. You have to move everything to the left side before you can start factoring, because it has to equal 0 before you can use your zero product property.
Can you move it to the right side?
You can, but then you're going to start messing with like negatives and stuff. So normally it's easier if you keep your x squared positive. So whatever way will keep the x squared positive, that's what you want to do. All right, so number 1, I'm going to move the 8x over with the x squared. And so I'm going to minus 8x and minus 8x. So that goes away. So now I have 16x squared minus 8x equals 0. Once everything is on the one side, you're going to try to factor. For factoring, GCF always comes first. What is the GCF of this one?
2x.
Bigger than 2. 8x.
I'm
Yep.
sorry. Shoot.
8x.
I'm still gonna fuck for those.
All right, so every time you factor, you have to do GCF first. All right, so if I take 8x out of 16x squared, what am I left with? 2x. And if I take 8x from 8x?
-1.
Minus 1. All right. Can you factor any farther? Nope. You can't split this up any farther than I already have. Hi, Sonny. What's up? Yeah, sure. Any of the ones. Make sure it has charge. All right, so once you have factored as far as you can go, you are going to take each of your factors and set it equal to 0. All right, so once you have completely factored, you take each factor, set it equal to 0. So, 8x equals 0. 2x minus 1 equals 0.
This is disturbing. X equals 0 then?
Mm-hmm.
Because you divide it by 8.
Very good. So this one we can divide by 8. And so x equals 0 is one of my answers. And then coming over here to my other equation, how do I solve?
Add 1.
Add 1.
And then it's 2x equals 1, and then you divide by 2, so x equals 1/2.
Very good. I solved for x.
Hold on, I'll play it by 0.
All right, so kind of like a sum of the steps, set equal to 0, factor, set your factors equal to 0, and solve. All right, so that's kind of what you're doing here. Don't worry, I'm going to do the rest of them though, so if you haven't gotten it yet, you probably will by the end. Yellow. Okay, number 2. What is my first step?
You subtract.
Subtract the 18. You got to move the 18 over here to the other side. So x squared minus 7x minus 18 equals 0.
Plus 7x. Right?
Plus 7x, sorry. Plus 7x.
Wait, what?
Move the 18 over.
Oh, plus 7x. I heard you say
I
plus
said minus 7x. I messed up. I just messed up a lot then. Sorry. X squared plus 7x minus 18 equals 0.
You cannot factor that.
Yes, you can.
You can?
All right, so quit talking. Side conversations need to stop. All right. How many terms do you have? The 3 terms, so you have to do the x method. Yes.
The x thing. That is correct.
All right. What is going on top of my x?
-18.
What is going on the bottom?
7.
All right. What two numbers multiply to give me negative 18, but add to give me 7?
9 and -2.
9 and negative 2. Very good.
Are y'all like just thinking of this type of stuff in your head this quick?
All right. So x plus 9, x minus 2. Do you have to divide by something? By what?
No, you do not, because there is only a 1x.
Right. I mean, if you divide by 1, you still get the same thing. So you don't really have to do it. So I'm done factoring. I'm going to take each of my factors, set it equal to 0. X plus 9 equals 0. X minus 2 equals 0.
So the first one would be x equals -9.
So negative 9
And the second would be x equals 2.
and 2. Very good.
Could we not just like, as a shortcut, just switch the sign?
It depends. If there's something in front of the X, it might mess you up. But if you can do it in your head, that's okay.
There's nothing to replace.
Yeah. Okay, jump to number 3.
I like Santa's
Wait.
Wait.
It's x equals 2, right?
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't say.
We're good.
Alright. Number 3.
It's already said.
So what if it's
Alright.
not put in ABC form? Do we have to put it in there?
Rewrite it. Yep.
She didn't say
Don't judge me.
No, that's right. If it's not in order, yes, you need to rewrite it. Alright, so on this one, it's already set equal to 0, right? So you don't have to move anything. So we're going to just go straight to the factoring. There's 3 terms, so I'm going to do the x. What number goes on top? Negative 12, because we're doing 6 times negative 2. What number goes on bottom? Negative 1. So, what 2 numbers multiply to give me negative 12, but add to give me negative 1?
3 and 4, but I don't know what has which one.
Negative 3 and negative 4.
Negative 4.
How?
3 and negative 4. Shh. So, x plus 3, x minus 4. Do I have to divide by something? Yes, the 6. So I have to go back and divide by the a value, the 6. So divide by 6. Divide by 6. And reduce. So don't forget to reduce. What is 3 divided by 6 reduced to? 1/2.
Oh, sorry, never mind.
And 4 divided by 6 reduces to 2/3. So after you reduce, if there's anything left on the bottom, we're going to bottoms up. 2 comes up.
That's what I meant.
3 comes up. 2x plus 1. 3x minus 2. Alright, so after I factor, I'm going to take my factors. Equal it to 0. 3x minus 2. Equal it to 0. So I'm kind of running out of space here on my paper, so I'm just going to do this in my head. Minus 1 divide by 2. Negative 1/2. And then add 2 divide by 3. So x equals 2/3.
How did you do 1/2?
Yeah, that's wrong.
2x minus 1.
Oh, okay, never
Negative
mind.
1 divided by 2. X equals negative 1.
I thought she divided it, said divide by 2.
Very much so.
Minus 1 and then divide by 2.
Yes, queen.
But you already have 2.
Buttons up on.
Are you just confused how I got from here to here?
Is it 2/3?
No, it said
Negative 1/2.
I just ran out of space.
X equals
Minus 1, right?
yeah.
And then divide by 2.
Oh, you put it on the other side. Oh, that's where that's why.
I just ran out of space, so I couldn't fit that.
Guys.
Truth.
Alright, number 4.
5 math classes?
Yes, I have 5.
Just 2 to clear with.
I have 2 tennis periods.
Denise.
Alright, number 4. Alright, so number 4 is set equal to 0. How many terms do I have? 2. So I'm not going to do the x thing. Do you have a GCF?
No, but you have that that square thingy thing.
Yes, the square thingy, the difference of squares. So
Yeah.
I have the difference of squares. There's no GCF, but I am noticing that 4 is a square and 9 is a square. So what times what gives me 4?
2.
So I have 2 and then x, 2 and then x. What times what gives me 9?
3.
So plus 3 minus 3.
We did it.
All right, that's all I can do. So now I'm going to take each of these factors, set them equal to 0. 2x plus 3 equals 0.
Just one, like negatives, yeah.
Yep, so they'll be the same thing. The signs are going to be different though, so careful. This one we are going to minus 3. 2x equals negative 3, and then divide by 2.
X equals negative 3 over 2 on the first one.
Negative 3 over 2.
And the second one is x equals just positive 3.
Right, so the next one should be just the positive version. So we're going to add 3. So 2x equals 3. Divide by 2. So x equals 3/2.
Amazing. We did it, guys.
All right, so are we good on number 4? All right, good.
Wait, can you go back?
All right, y'all good? Ready? Okay. Y'all okay over there?
No. He had 3 a.m. with pump.
Okay, number 5. So on number 5, I have x squared equals 3x plus 4. It is always a good idea if you just keep your x squared positive. All right, so whatever will keep your x squared positive, that's what you're going to want to do.
So we're going to move everybody else just so x squared can
Aren't you gonna-
Exactly.
That's
This is exactly what we're going to
No
do.
one likes x squared.
Minus 3x minus 4.
So we are going to minus 3x minus 4, minus 3x minus 4. And so I have x squared minus 3x minus 4 equals 0.
Use that weird x thing.
And then use the weird x thing. What number goes on top?
-4.
What number goes on bottom?
-3.
What two numbers multiply to give me -4 but add to give me -3?
-1, 1,
Very good. -4 and 1. So I'm going to open up my 2 factors. I'm going to do x minus 4, x plus 1. Do you have to divide by anything?
No, you do not.
Nope. So I am now just going to take my factors here and set them equal to 0.
First one, x equals positive 4. Second one, x equals negative 1.
Good. So x equals 4 and x equals -1. All right, almost done. We are.
Is that another difference of squares you
That's
see?
the x squares thingy.
Yes, it is very good. Difference of squares. What times what gives me 49? 7. So x plus 7, x minus 7. I can't take it any farther. Nope.
Oh, first one.
Dang,
X equals -7 for the first one. And the second one, x equals positive 7.
Very good. All right, so I take x plus 7 equal to 0, x minus 7 equal to 0, and then when you solve for x on the first equation, you get -7, and when you solve for x on the second equation, you get +7.
Doesn't it, like, do you have to remember which one goes with which equation, or do you just
No.
need to
I just need the 2 x's. So if you see this difference of squares and you know it's going to be 7 and -7, you can just write it. All right. Number 7.
Oh, we can factor that.
You should call people.
All right. Sure.
Hey.
Okay.
Faith, how do I do number 7?
Okay. I don't know.
Yes, you
I'm
do.
just kidding. So you're first going to factor out 6x.
Yes.
Very good. GCF of a 6x. And when you factor out a GCF of a 6x, you're left with what?
X plus 2
Uh-huh.
equals 0. And then you take 6x and x plus 2.
Okay, so take 6x, equal it to 0. Take x plus 2, equal it to 0.
And then you do some math and you should get x, you know, that thing, x minus 0.
The first one is x equals 0 because you divided by a 0.
Divided by 6.
We divide by 6 by
And then
0.
x
so-
minus 2, right?
Yes.
I mean, -2.
Yes.
God, what the heck?
What a queen.
All right, so divide by 6, you get x equals 0, minus 2, and you get x equals -2. All right, number 9, or 8.
Oh, that's a nice
Okay,
number.
I'll call in people this time. I haven't called in people in a long time. 15. Who's 15?
I have 9.
Nobody's sitting in front of him. Nobody's sitting in
Oh, that's right. Okay.
front. Got the table over there.
Can't you do that?
25. Haley, that's you, right?
I don't have a number.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you're 25. My numbers kind of got rubbed off, but I kind of know where the desks are. What do I do first? Does it have a GCF?
I think I covered it.
Okay, so what's the...
I think it's supposed to be
How many terms do you have? 3. So 3 is going to be which method? Oh, you weren't here yesterday? Oh, okay. Well, 3 terms is going to be the x method.
Oi!
All right, so Gip, what number's going on top?
4.
36. 36? Yeah, because you got to multiply those guys. Shh. And then, Miguel, what? Wait. Edwin, sorry, I don't know. Miguel's in my other class. It always gets me because y'all look a lot alike. What number goes on bottom? 12. 7. Daniela. What two numbers? Wait, shh, Isabel. Shh. I can hear both y'all's voices.
I'm sorry, I was thinking out loud.
Shh. Who else is talking? Because there's people.
Isa.
All right, shh. Daniela, what two numbers multiply to give me 36 but add to give me 12? 6 and 6. Very good. 6 and 6. All right. 8. 5, 6, 8. All right, Emery. How would I write the factors right now?
X plus 6.
Uh-huh. Very good. X plus 6 and X plus 6.
I thought you couldn't do that, or is it X minus 6 and X minus 6? You could
That's
do.
for the other day.
That's for difference of squares. So this is all good.
Oh God.
Okay, Isabella, do I have to divide by anything? What? Then 9. So we're going to divide by 9, divide by 9. Raimundo, what is 6 divided by 9 reduced to? Shh, Raimundo.
Like 3 something.
Close. You're going to divide them both by 3, and so it'll reduce to
3,
2 over 3. Yep, 2 over 3. And then...
Oh, we're supposed to drag down the 9. Is it?
That's all you have.
No.
Yes. If I bottoms up, how am I gonna write it? What's on the bottom here? The 3. So the 3 is gonna bottom up. So how would you write it? The 3 is gonna go in front of the x. So 3x.
Is there only going to be one answer since they're the same?
Yeah. 3x plus 2 and 3x plus 2.
I like your Grinch shirt. We
Thank
should
you.
listen to Tyler Creator's Inspired.
All right, hold on. Shh. Wait, we're almost done. All right, 3x plus 2, 3x plus 2. Since they are the same thing, Isabella is right. There's only going to be one answer. So you only have to set this equal to 0 one time.
I got you, bro.
And so, Angie, what's the answer?
-2.
-2 over 3. All right, so real fast, graphically,
So does it never
You
come
only
down?
have 1 0 question mark?
yes, so graphically I only have one x-intercept. So if you're talking about your u and it is only going to have one x-intercept, what does that mean your vertex is at?
Oh, I thought it meant it was a radical. Never mind.
No,
What? It's
Let me straight line.
it's not a straight line, it's quadratic. What? Where's your vertex at in the quadratic?
It's in the, -3 sec 2.
Can't reach it.
You're so
Happy
close.
face on -3 2, right?
-2, 3.
2 3.
Yes, yes. So you have your vertex right on the x-intercept because that is the only way your quadratic will have one x-intercept. It's going to sit on your axis, right?
Sitting sisters.
Yes, where it's going to sit on your axis. All right, we're done.